Alright guys, it is the next day here. We're tackling a few more things. We're doing another compression test here in the morning on a cold engine. I took all the spark plugs out. I'm actually disconnecting the charge pipe over here just so in case the turbo's spinning and creating extra pressure here, I want a consistent naturally aspirated number for compression. So I took off the charge pipe. I did run my finger on the charge pipe. There's no oil or anything, but there is some kind of like a soot over there. Once I put it on my finger, it is a little like a grayish bluish. I'm not sure what that's about. Probably maybe nothing to be concerned about. So I'm gonna run cold compression test 1, 2, 4. 3 still has some residual oil in it from yesterday. Once we do that cold test here, I'm gonna add some oil on 1, 2, and 4. We'll see if that oil bumps up the compression on those cylinders. Technically, if the rings are sealing well, adding oil into a good cylinder with good compression rings and everything will not bump up the compression from what the internet says. So I'm curious how that's gonna work. I've been having the battery charging all night, so hopefully she still has some power in her. Other than that, guys, pretty disappointing about that number 3 cylinder. Hopefully, maybe, is it possible to have a sticking piston ring? Like the compression rings get stuck because of the heat. And this can be caused by a lot of things. If it's not broken, let's say it's just stuck. Is it from driving aggressively, heating up the cylinders and the engines and the pistons, possibly running improper air-fuel ratio, improper cool downs, proper lubrication? Man, there could be so much things. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens next. I'm going to start it up here. Alright, not bad. Cold motor, just about 15, 20, 30, about 230, just about 230 on cylinder 1. Just about the same, boys. So, I'm not sure if that compressor thing has an effect. I doubt it. Warm engine was 240, cold engine is, 15, 20 psi less, so that seems just about normal. Just about 210 on this one, number 2. Alright, same thing, 210. Just about. Let's go to 4. Cylinder number 4. About 215, 220-ish. Alright guys, got my oil here. Just drop it into the cylinder. Uh-oh, I think we have a very big problem, guys. Very big problem. It's not coming out. Oh shit. Okay, that was just a false alarm. I didn't bleed off the pressure from the compression tester. Why not? Let's give number 3 some love too. Do some up. Let them soak in a little bit. Run the wet compression test. And then as far as compression test, dry and wet, we're gonna have all the data we need. The next step would be possibly get a leak down tester. I can pop it into number 3 and then check for leaks, whether it's coming out from the intake side, it's a valve leak. If you hear it out the exhaust, it's an exhaust leak. If you hear it through your oil cap or your dipstick, it's probably piston rings leaking into the cylinder or the engine as blow by, and that's gonna be the next step here. All right, guys, cylinder 1 wet compression test. Cold. $245. Cylinder number 2 wet, cold. $240. Just about, but you see it's leaking right now. This seal, look at that leaking down. I think this compression tester is not sealing right from the base. I think I overspun it, to be honest with you guys. But we still got the initial numbers. We're still 240-ish consistent. Cylinder number 4. Number 4, a little bit over 240. It's going down, as you can see. Going down. It's not sealing right. All right, cylinder number 3. Well, we saw that 240, so it's consistent in line with everything else, which again means number 3 has the issue. Alright guys, everything's back in. I checked the turbo. The turbo spins easily. There's barely any shaft play whatsoever. Compressor side looks good. Again, I don't think there's any oil going into the engine from the compressor side. It's gonna smoke. I'm pretty sure it's gonna smoke. My battery took a beating from all the compression tests here without a real jumper pack. So let's see if it starts up. We're gonna let it idle, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of smoke. What's up, baby girl? You've been chilling with me. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of smoke, and this smoke would be something similar to your valves leaking, valve seals leaking. All right, we're gonna do it, Lily. Okay, start it right up. So there's a lot of, obviously, oil in the cylinders. And they say if you have valve seals leaking, you would see smoke coming out right away. But even all that oil I poured into the engine, look, barely any oil. So how are you gonna tell me you're gonna see valve seals leaking? Okay, there it comes. There comes that smoke. But that could be just, again, because it's cold. Okay, there is some smoke, but it doesn't really even smell like anything. Wow, I'm really surprised. All that oil I poured in the cylinders. Maybe let it warm up just a little bit more and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, obviously the car's idling good, no check engine lights, no issues, running real smooth. No knocking, no ticking of any sort. Yeah. I'll get back to you guys soon. I'll just be watching the smoke, but I don't think we're gonna get much more smoke at this point. All right, it's been about what, 4 minutes. Now we're starting to see that smoke building up here. Doesn't really smell like much. Doesn't smell like an oil burning. But yeah, it's definitely out here now. It's windy. You can't really see it accumulating. If it was nice and quiet day with no wind, you would see the smoke cloud. And yeah, so we're back to the same story, guys. Back to the same story with the Turbo R18 engine.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold. You might need a sweater too. I'ma put a ride on ya. Kid from California, trying to make it in life. In school they never taught ya. Dreams